Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary and bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay, this time featuring 4 players versus 4 players, and I have no idea what map we're on because it's a 4v4 map. I'm told that this one's quite entertaining. So in the bottom left corner on the red team we have Zerg number 1, which is Scrubbles, and next to him on the left side, our Protoss, our single Protoss for Team Red is Mix. On top of him, which is continuing along the clockwise, Hachura is our second red Zerg, and our final red Zerg is Michael, who you guys should remember from our previous video. And that completes our red team. Our top right corner blue team is XS Nova, blue Terran. I think he's the only Terran. Nope, there's 2 Terrans on blue team. In Forsaken, our blue Zerg, our single blue Zerg, again with the clockwise transitioning. SX Design. Oh, XS Design, they're the same team. There's the same clan. I wonder if they do 2v2s mostly, or if they're just missing out on 2 of their friends, or maybe these guys are all part of the same clan. But that was our only Protoss. And then 2's guns, 2G guns, Sun. Our blue Terran is our second blue Terran. So yeah, I don't know the name of this map, but it is awfully large, I'll tell you that much. Some features of it, 2 different ramps leading into the shared base by all of the players. There are no safe expansions in the form of, sometimes you see on like 2v2s and stuff like that, there's a base just inside the main base that someone can grab if they want to do 2 base and go for like the long haul high tech. But this is as safe as it gets, which is right outside the main base and also protected by this sort of crag. Production tab's going to get out of control in relatively short order, but I think the economy tab will tell you pretty much everything you need to know. If you see probes starting to fall, then you'll know what to expect. Some nice scouting out of here by Mix. I don't know if you noticed that whenever he came up here and saw that barracks was just going down by the time his probe arrived, he said that it was gas first, which was indeed correct. Out of 2's gun, 2 gun Sun. 2 gun Sun going gas first, meaning a bit more of a high tech build. That's traditionally how 4v4 goes, is 2 people go for a rush, 2 people go for a bit more of a high tech build, unless you guys are crazy good and have all sorts of different shenanigans played out. But he scouted the early pool, and it looks like our only Zerg player from the blue side of things, in Forsaken, is moving out with his first. I don't think it was a 6 pool, it looked more like a 10 pool, because he does have an economy behind it. Our only Zerg with 12 pros, definitely behind, 12 drones, definitely behind by any stretch of the imagination. But with that spine crawler going up, it looks like he's going to go to town on Michael's base, but he's already got that queen up. His Roach Warren is on the way. I don't think he's going to have much of a problem dealing with this harassment, especially if he keeps on top of his drone control. And I don't think that there's been a single drone going down just yet. A couple of people have lost 1, but that's not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination, especially with the economic hit that In Forsaken would have taken by trying to do this sort of harassment. So yeah, it looks like these guys are just going to be flirting around the base, getting a nice little scout out between all the different bases, coming into mixes, seeing that only 1 gas has gone up, trying to go for a drone probe hit, but again doesn't even score 1. He's doing a good job keeping these alive. I don't think he's lost a single Zergling. In fact, check out the mini map, he's got another round coming in, and they're trying to meet up, but it looks like Hachurus is trying to take his own expansion right now, and he's got speed out, so these speedlings out of Hachurus are going to be far more effective than the slow ones from Michael. Michael is going for that Roach Warren, which we'll be hitting later, and probably much more effectively than the speedlings later on. But right now, these Zerglings are providing a fantastic counter to the speedlings already out on the field. Another harassment unit. This is basically what you see, is just harassment after harassment in 4v4. Who's out of this? 2 gun Sun, 2 Sun. Sun is moving out with his 2 Hellions. Unfortunately, he's going to be running up just to the wrong player at the wrong time, which would be the one with Roaches. Michael going to town on those Hellions, proving to be very ineffective against those Roaches, which have approximately the same range, and with armor to boot, just eating up that flame. Oh, here comes the speedlings from In Forsaken, finally getting into Hachurus' home base. But remember, Hachurus did manage to grab that hatchery. It has gone up, took a little bit of damage from those Zerglings, but with his own Speedlings out on the field, I don't foresee him having a hard time defending that, especially with Michael taking a bit more of an aggressive stance. Looks like some Speedlings from Scrubbles has made its way across the map. It's going to need to take down those factories which are producing those Hellions, but with multiple Hellions arriving in time to protect everything but the reactor. I think that reactor is going to go down, and he started on a tech lab, probably for Blue Flame more than anything else. But looks like Xdeath's design is doing a good job keeping that ramp protected for now, especially with the Sentry. They're going to be able to throw down a force field, deal with that aggression. But man, the number of roaches and number of Zerglings out on the field right now are beginning to climb. Flipping over to the monstrous unit tab, 38. Oh man, there's just so many numbers that I could read off right now, but 13 roaches out of anything, and man, that number of Zerglings falls pretty quickly whenever you line them up for those Hellions, just doing an absolute ridiculous amount of damage to all those Zerglings. Unfortunately, once the roaches arrive, you're going to have to retreat. Another flow of Hellions arriving, another flow of now Stalkers making it out onto the field. Do they have Blink yet? They do. Fantastic. So I'm going to see some Blink Micro, no Blink just yet for the other Protoss player, Mix. Scrubbles doing the war cry. Come on, press the advantage. And you know what? They do have an advantage. They've got a hatchery up. Who's this one for? Scrubbles himself. And then Haturus has his own, so it's 2 base right now, and it looks like blue player is just now trying to take their own expansion. So as long as they can maintain that economic advantage, keep the other players contained, they shouldn't have a problem taking this lead, especially with the unit compositions right now favoring the red team, because they have a lot of armored units, and they're basically going against, yeah, Stalkers do extra DPS against armor, yes, Marauders do extra DPS against armor, but the number of Stalkers, the number of Marauders right now, it's not enough to deal with the concave that red team has going on. And man, that design's doing a good job with that Blink Micro, keeping alive all of his Stalkers, and that basically did turn the tide for that battle. I thought that red team had it in spades, but the Blink's Micro from Mick Design was just too good. And it looks like red team's main army is a bit in tatters. They're beginning to congeal in the center, trying to find out exactly where they can strike next, but the blue team's doing a good job keeping themselves alive and not doing a good job trying to take these expansions, and Forsaken has managed to take his own hatchery. However, there's no saturation there. He's not doing anything about that. And on the other side of things, Scrubbles has his up, and so does Hakurus. I know I'm butchering that, and I apologize. Back to the economic tab, just because it's a little bit easier on the eyes. It looks like the armies are beginning to congeal here, preparing to strike out. Maybe if they decide to take the natural on the low ground, but that's effectively being denied by Mix right now, keeping his Stalkers alive, and then Michael taking the majority of the damage with all of his roaches. Haven't seen too much out of the Terran player that they have. No, Protoss player that they have. No, that's Mix. Who have I not seen from? Scrubbles? He's taking his own expansion. Is he only doing Zerglings? All we see is Zerglings, roaches, and Stalkers right now, and we're missing another unit, and I want to know who's in charge of that. Is it Hakurus? What does he have? He has a spawning pool and an evolution chamber. Fantastic. He's playing for the late game. Hopefully he's going Spire or something crazy like that. So Hakurus is not pulling his weight right now, but hopefully he'll be hitting later. Or it could be that he's just mass-producing Zerglings and going to be doing a bunch of harassment, because really, if you make it past Tier 2 in 4v4, you are some sort of fantastic player. Red team pressing their luck right now. I think if they push up on top of that ramp, they're going to get surrounded and taken out very, very quickly. The number of Stalkers are incredibly intimidating, and the number of Marauders are beginning to climb very quickly, especially as Nova, his production facilities, are right there. Looks like a bit of a counter-aggression is going to get shut down into Hakurus' main base. Oh, wow, they're taking another expansion down there, too. Here comes that concave I was talking about. They are getting eaten up rather fiercely. Oh, some siege tanks making it out onto the field from 2 guns, and that's what he was using those factories for. So yes, it looks like red team's going to get pushed back pretty soundly. However, now that the blue team is out onto the level playing field, onto the ground where they don't have that natural concave, I expect we're going to see these engagements take a different kind of tone. A very nice blink there from Mix, moving his Stalkers up, trying to snipe out those siege tanks. However, they got chewed alive way, way, way too quickly. Design now all of a sudden has that just ball of units that's necessary in order to push forward, and they're going to be taking the other players to the House of Pain. Michael's got to be very careful. Looks like his roach speed is done, though, so he'll be able to retreat very quickly. Hakurus is, he's got his macro up, but what is he doing with all that? 3 Evo chambers? Holy crap. I wonder what he's intending to build with all the Evo chambers, and he's going to have some ridiculously well upgraded ground units, I can tell you that much. But beyond that, maybe it's Ultralisks, I don't know. Red team is beating a hasty retreat, however, every inch that they retreat from here takes blue team away from the Michael's base, which was up there. Oh, look at that, Michael moving in on the left side with some roaches, on the right side with some roaches, getting a nice little sandwich right there on the blue team. Oh, and they just chew them apart. Fantastic. Even Mick's getting in on the action with all of his Zergling Scrubbles, cheering them on. But what has he got? He's got Zerglings. Yeah, Michael definitely taking the cake for that one with all those meat shields. Oh, those roaches coming in from either end, getting that perfect concave. And, oh, what's going on up here? Command center right by the high yield. However, I don't think we're going to see that get saturated anytime soon, because this game is rapidly unraveling for the blue team. The siege tanks are getting surrounded pretty soundly. I mean, look at this just huge swarm of Zerglings going to be able to close very quickly with these siege tanks, even though they're up on the high ground. Doesn't look like the expansion that was planned for this location is going to come to fruition at all, as just huge balls of units are sweeping in from either side. I'm really impressed that anybody can keep up with this, though keep in mind that it's 8 players at one time. Poor Mix is going to have to retreat just for the time being, but it looks like Hercules is finally out on the field with his 2-1 Zerglings. These are those upgrades that he was going to get, but why would you wait so long for Zerglings? I don't even know. How much money does he have? Not a lot, but he's got a lot of gas. Good for him. I was hoping for a Spire. I was hoping for like slow Broodlords or something like that and just do a monstrous push, but I don't think they're going to need it. Michael is moving in with a huge swell of roaches, and it looks like the Zerglings are going to town at this entire infrastructure. Oh, and it begins to unravel. 2 players for the blue team leave, and oh, there goes number 3. So who's left? Is it Guns? It is Guns. It's poor old Guns. He did a very good job. Everybody did a very good job, and really there's not much to glean from a 4v4 matchup, because it's very instinctual. If you guys have a hard time scrambling, if you have a hard time with base defense, play some 4v4 games, and just don't go past tier 1, and you'll be very, very good at micro in a very short order. We can see that, you know, this is absolutely hectic, but to keep up with it, you've got to basically react very quickly and commit to your reaction. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's one of those things that makes the game fun. Yeah, so, I mean, that's it. What do you want me to say? There's nothing to learn here, except that it's fun to play 4v4. It's also fun to cast and have your games casted, so if you guys have a game you want me to replay, you could PM me here or on Reddit, one way or another. I will see you guys later. I'm Big and Scary. Bye.